Art Spiegelman tells his father's life story in the form of a graphic novel. Rather than drawing people as humans, he draws them as anthropomorphized versions of animals based on their nationality. Polish people are drawn as pigs, Germans are cats, Americans are dogs, and Jewish people are mice. Additionally, French people are frogs, British people are fish, Swedes are reindeer, and gypsies are gypsy moths. We are analyzing the rationale and methods behind using animals in Mouse. Mouse gives readers an outsider's point of view by using animals instead of people. By doing this, the books are much more accessible as much of the violence becomes less emotionally distressful to the audience. Furthermore, by choosing the classical dog-cat-mouse triad, the audience immediately associates this with the popular hierarchy of the animal kingdom. Art Spiegelman demonstrates a strengthening of stereotypes and categorization of the Jews and Nazis by drawing the animals of each race to look alike, stripping each character of their individuality.
Time magazine has called Art Spiegelman one of the world's most influential people. In the 1960s and 70s, he emerged as a major figure in the underground comics movement. But it was his groundbreaking Holocaust narrative, Mouse, that received widespread acclaim. The controversial graphic novel portrayed Jews as mice and Nazis as cats, and the sequel, Mouse 2, won him a Pulitzer Prize in 1992. It told the story of his parents' survival of the Nazi regime.
There were people who were worried about the affront of drawing Jews as rodents, but I guess Jews are used to punishment, so they were able to look past it. We were able to look past it. And the affront and insult that was built into the animal images of Mouse were meant to be done with my collaborator, Adolf Hitler, who was the one who had divided people up into different species, basically, most of them subhuman. And I was borrowing his metaphor and offering it back to him as a way of masking these figures to show their essential humanity, both for better and for worse. It's not like humanity is always a good thing. And surprisingly to me, the book has been embraced. It's used in universities, in middle schools, and points beyond and between, in ways that I first used to worry about.
We are first introduced to the mice in a flashback to the author's childhood. In doing this, Spiegelman creates a positive and relatively human dynamic. Seeing a childhood with the mice and even a dog, we are able to see the characters as people, even though they are drawn as anthropomorphic animals. Mice live all around the world. They survive off of mankind's food supplies, which was the origin for the Nazi Jewish mouse metaphor. When people think of mice, they can go one of two ways: as cute, small, and lovable like Mickey Mouse, or as vermin, disease-carrying, repugnant, and ugly. The Nazis took the latter view of this perspective for their propaganda. Mice don't hold any power over other animals. Even a rat will defeat a mouse. Because Jews live all around the world, the Nazis found rodents to work as an extremely effective symbol for this ethnic group which they found undesirable. In Mouse, the German people are portrayed as cats. This is a particularly fitting allegory, as during the Holocaust, the Nazi Party effectively hunted the Jewish people like prey. When cats hunt rodents, they do not kill them instantly. They prefer to toy with their prey, injuring it, letting it bleed, and think it has a chance of escape and survival before finally killing it. Often the cats do not even eat the mice. The malicious nature of the cat and mouse relationship is first seen when Jewish characters discuss the oppression that is going on in Germany before it spreads across Europe. The Poles are first introduced as pigs, who have authority over the Jewish mice. The Poles are illustrated as authority figures with high positions, such as the police, who command Jewish people using fear tactics to uphold the rules set by the Nazi regime, ultimately only looking out for themselves. Spiegelman chooses pigs to depict the Polish people, specifically because Nazis referred to them as pigs during the war, which brought about all the negative connotations associated with being called a pig, such as being greedy, violent, and hungry for power. The Americans were drawn as dogs simply because they chased away the cats. Additionally, American soldiers were called dog faces during the Second World War. The Americans do defeat the Germans, but their motivation for combat is unrelated to the Jewish struggle. Britain has historically been a naval power, and it is an island nation, so fish were a natural choice for the metaphor. Sweden is represented by reindeer, which is a food staple in Scandinavian countries. Reindeer are naturally non-aggressive herbivores, which can reflect Sweden's neutral stance during the war. French people eat frogs' legs and are nicknamed in English-speaking areas as frogs. Also, France has a long history of anti-Semitism, so Spiegelman chose a more unpleasant creature, not even a mammal as opposed to a poodle, to represent the French. The gypsies were drawn as moths because of the gypsy moth. Additionally, gypsies were put in concentration camps, but to a lesser extent than Jews. The Nazis still thought of them as pests, which Spiegelman translates into the novel through the gypsy moth. The concept of using mice was first seen by Spiegelman in pieces of Nazi propaganda where Jewish people were compared to vermin, such as mice and/or rats. It is only natural from this point of view to draw the predatory Germans who hunted and sought to exterminate the Jewish race as cats. Lastly, the Americans are the dogs who defeat the cats.